In the opulent shadow of the Palace of Versailles, where golden gates gleamed under a cloudy sky, Alexander Harrington, the renowned billionaire tech mogul, had built his empire from nothing but sheer determination and innovative brilliance. His life was a blend of luxury and family devotion, centered around his beloved mother, Eleanor, a graceful widow in her 60s who had sacrificed everything to raise him, and his 10-year-old daughter, Lily, a bright-eyed girl with an infectious laugh that could light up any room. Alexander cherished them above all his wealth, often hosting grand events to celebrate their bond, but little did he know that his seemingly perfect engagement to the stunning socialite Victoria Langford was about to unravel in the most dramatic fashion imaginable. Victoria, with her flawless appearance and charming demeanor in public, harbored a deep-seated resentment toward Eleanor and Lily, viewing them as obstacles to her complete control over Alexander's fortune and lifestyle. She had meticulously planned this day, and supposed elegant family photoshoot at the historic site, as the perfect opportunity to expose her true colors without immediate consequences, believing Alexander would be delayed by a crucial business meeting across town. As the morning unfolded, Eleanor and Lily arrived first, dressed in elegant gowns that matched the grandeur of the surroundings, Eleanor's yellow dress symbolizing her sunny disposition and Lily's pink outfit reflecting her innocent joy. They posed happily near the ornate gates, unaware of the storm brewing, while Victoria, in her striking emerald green gown, approached with a metal bucket concealed behind her back, filled with a vile mixture she called dirty water but which was actually a thick yellow sludge designed to humiliate and stain. Her lips curled into a sinister smile as she imagined the fallout, convinced this act would drive a wedge so deep that Alexander would side with her against his own family. The scene was set, the air thick with anticipation, and Victoria's heart raced with malicious excitement as she prepared to pour the contents over the unsuspecting pair, forever altering the course of their lives in ways she could never have predicted. Victoria's resentment had been simmering for months, ever since Alexander proposed in a lavish ceremony overlooking the Eiffel Tower, where she accepted with feigned tears of joy while inwardly plotting how to eliminate the competition for his attention. Eleanor, with her wise counsel and unyielding love for her son, often advised him on matters Victoria deemed her territory, and Lily's childish demands for daddy time interfered with the couple's jet-setting adventures. To Victoria, they were relics of Alexander's past, unworthy of the elite world she envisioned, so she devised this cruel prank to make them look foolish and force them out of the picture. As she tilted the bucket, the yellow liquid cascaded down, first splattering Eleanor's meticulously styled hair and soaking her dress, turning the vibrant fabric into a sopping mess that clung uncomfortably to her skin. Eleanor gasped in shock, her hands instinctively reaching up to shield her face, but it was too late. The sticky substance dripped down her neck and arms, eliciting a cry of dismay that echoed across the cobblestone courtyard. Lily, seated beside her grandmother, screamed as the sludge hit her next, matting her hair and ruining her pretty pink dress, tears streaming down her cheeks as she looked up at Victoria with wide, betrayed eyes, unable to comprehend the cruelty from someone she had called auntie. The ground around them pooled with the yellow ooze, splashing onto the historic pavement and creating a chaotic scene that contrasted sharply with the palace's regal beauty. In the background, the black luxury sedan idled, its doors slightly ajar as if waiting for the drama to unfold, while Victoria's expression shifted from triumph to a forced concern, ready to spin a tale of accidental spill to anyone who might witness. But fate had other plans, for Alexander's meeting had ended prematurely due to a technical glitch, prompting him to rush to the venue ahead of schedule, his mind filled with excitement for the family moment. As he stepped out of the car, his bow tie perfectly knotted and suit impeccably tailored, the sight before him froze him in place, his mouth agape in horror at the betrayal unfolding right before his eyes. Alexander's journey to billionaire status was one of relentless ambition, starting from a modest upbringing where Eleanor's encouragement fueled his dreams, and now, with Lily as his greatest joy after losing his wife years ago, he strived to provide them with every comfort imaginable. Victoria entered his life like a whirlwind, captivating him with her beauty and apparent sophistication, but beneath the surface lay a calculating ambition that sought to exploit his wealth for her own gains. On this fateful day, as the pour continued, Eleanor's initial shock turned to indignation, her voice rising in protest as she demanded an explanation from the woman she had tried to welcome into the family. Lily clung to her grandmother, sobbing uncontrollably, the yellow mess making her feel small and vulnerable amid the grandeur of Versailles. Victoria, undeterred, emptied the bucket completely, watching with satisfaction as the last drops fell, her green dress remaining pristine as a symbol of her detached superiority. She had rehearsed her excuses, planning to claim it was a harmless joke gone wrong or perhaps blame a fictional servant, but the arrival of Alexander's car disrupted her script entirely. He emerged, his face paling as he processed the scene. His fiancée, the woman he trusted, deliberately humiliating the two people he loved most in the world. His hands trembled as he approached, the splash of yellow on the ground mirroring the stain on his relationship, and in that moment, the illusion of their perfect union shattered like fragile glass. Questions flooded his mind. Why would she do this? What hidden darkness had he missed, and how could he protect his family from such venom? The air grew tense, the distant hum of tourists oblivious to the personal tragedy playing out, as Alexander's shock gave way to a building rage that would soon erupt in confrontation. Flashbacks to happier times flooded Alexander's thoughts as he stood there, remembering family dinners where Eleanor shared stories of his childhood and Lily's giggles filled the room, contrasting sharply with Victoria's increasingly possessive behavior that he had dismissed as passion. Now, the truth was pouring out literally and figuratively, the yellow liquid a metaphor for the toxic elements she brought into their lives. Eleanor, wiping the sludge from her eyes, locked gazes with Victoria, her maternal instinct kicking in to shield Lily, who was now hysterical, her small hands covered in the sticky substance as she tried to brush it off. Victoria stepped back, bucket empty, feigning surprise at the mess, but her eyes betrayed a flicker of panic as she noticed Alexander's approach. The palace gates, symbols of opulence and power, framed the scene like a dramatic stage, the overcast sky adding to the somber atmosphere. Alexander's voice boomed across the courtyard, demanding to know what was happening, his usual composed demeanor cracking under the weight of betrayal. Victoria stammered, attempting to twist the narrative into an accident, claiming the bucket was meant for a fun paint activity but slipped, but the deliberate pour was too evident to deny. Lily looked up at her father with pleading eyes, her tears mixing with the yellow streaks, breaking his heart further. Eleanor, ever the pillar of strength, stood up despite the humiliation, her dress ruined but her spirit unbroken, ready to support her son in whatever decision he made. The confrontation escalated, Alexander's questions turning accusatory as he pieced together past slights and realized Victoria's true nature, a gold digger who viewed his family as threats. As the reality sank in, Alexander recalled the warning signs he had ignored, like Victoria's snide comments about Eleanor's old-fashioned ways or her impatience with Lily's playfulness, all masked under sweet smiles. The yellow sludge continued to drip, creating puddles that reflected the distorted faces of the involved parties, a visual representation of the warped relationship. Lily's cries softened to whimpers as Eleanor comforted her, whispering assurances that everything would be okay, while glaring daggers at Victoria. The fiancée, now cornered, dropped the bucket with a clang, her hands raised in mock surrender, but her defense crumbled under Alexander's intense scrutiny. He demanded the truth, his voice echoing off the palace walls, drawing curious glances from passers-by who sensed the unfolding drama. Victoria, seeing no escape, confessed partially, admitting it was a prank to toughen them up, but her words rang hollow, revealing her contempt. Alexander's face hardened, the love he once felt turning to disgust, as he realized this act was the tip of a deeper iceberg of manipulation. He turned to his mother and daughter, helping them up, his suit getting stained in the process, but he didn't care, prioritizing their well-being over appearances. The scene shifted from humiliation to empowerment, Eleanor standing tall despite the mess, Lily finding solace in her father's arms, and Victoria left isolated, her green dress now a symbol of envy rather than elegance. In that pivotal moment, Alexander made his choice, declaring the engagement over, his words final and unwavering. With the engagement shattered, Alexander focused on consoling his family, wiping away the yellow residue with his handkerchief, vowing to make things right and protect them from future harm. Eleanor's resilience shone through, her experience teaching her that true wealth lay in love, not material possessions, and she hugged Lily close, reassuring her that the bad lady wouldn't hurt them anymore. Victoria, stunned by the swift rejection, pleaded for forgiveness, citing stress or misunderstanding, but Alexander saw through her facade, recognizing the calculated cruelty. The black car, once a symbol of their shared luxury, now served as an escape vehicle for his family, as he ushered them inside, away from the prying eyes and the staining evidence on the ground. Tourists began to gather, whispering about the bizarre spectacle, but Alexander ignored them, his priority clear. As they drove away, leaving Victoria standing alone amid the splendor of Versailles, he reflected on how close he came to a disastrous marriage, grateful for arriving early. The yellow splatters on the pavement would wash away with rain, but the lesson remained etched in his mind: trust must be earned, not assumed. Eleanor, from the back seat, offered words of wisdom, reminding him that family endures, while Lily, though traumatized, began to calm, her innocence resilient. This incident, though painful, strengthened their bond, turning a potential tragedy into a turning point for deeper appreciation. In the days that followed, Alexander took swift action, cutting all ties with Victoria, including revoking access to his properties and alerting his circle to her true character, ensuring she couldn't spin the narrative against him. Media buzzed with rumors of the broken engagement, but he kept details private, focusing on healing. Eleanor, ever supportive, organized a spa day to cleanse the literal and figurative dirt, turning the experience into a bonding ritual that brought laughter back to Lily's face. The young girl, though initially wary, learned a valuable lesson about discerning people's intentions. Her trust in her father solidified. Alexander delved into self-reflection, questioning his judgment in relationships, vowing to prioritize compatibility over superficial allure in the future. The Palace of Versailles, once a backdrop for betrayal, became a symbol of revelation, its golden gates representing the barriers he now set around his heart. Friends and colleagues rallied around him, offering support and sharing similar stories of near misses, reinforcing that wealth attracts opportunists. Through it all, the family's resilience prevailed, their love proving unbreakable against adversity. Lily's drawings of the event, turned into humorous cartoons, helped process the trauma, while Eleanor baked comfort foods, restoring normalcy. Alexander emerged stronger, his empire intact but his personal life enriched by the ordeal. As time healed the wounds, Alexander found solace in philanthropy, channeling his energy into causes supporting single parents and child welfare, inspired by his own family's close call. Eleanor took on a more active role in his life, advising on both business and personal matters with her timeless insight, while Lily flourished, her confidence boosted by the protective cocoon of love. Victoria, meanwhile, faded into obscurity, her social standing tarnished by whispers of the incident, a cautionary tale for others in high society. The billionaire's story circulated in elite circles, a reminder that true character reveals itself in unguarded moments. Reflecting on that day, Alexander often visited Versailles alone, standing where the pour occurred, grateful for the early arrival that saved him from a lifetime of regret. The yellow stain, long gone, left an indelible mark on his soul, teaching vigilance in love. Family vacations became more frequent, strengthening their ties, with Lily's laughter echoing freer than before. Eleanor's pride in her son grew, seeing him evolve into a wiser man. The experience, though born of malice, blossomed into growth, proving that even dirty water can cleanse illusions. Alexander's heart, once clouded, now saw clearly, ready for genuine connections. Months later, Alexander met someone new, a kind-hearted philanthropist who embraced his family without reservation, a stark contrast to Victoria's toxicity. Their relationship built slowly, grounded in mutual respect, with Eleanor and Lily's approval sealing the deal. The past incident became a family anecdote, retold with humor during gatherings, turning pain into power. Lily, inspired, wrote a school essay on forgiveness, earning accolades, while Eleanor pursued hobbies long neglected, finding joy in painting scenes of Versailles sans the drama. Alexander's business thrived, innovations pouring forth like never before, his focus sharpened by personal clarity. The golden gates of the palace symbolized new beginnings, a portal through which he stepped into authenticity. Friends marveled at his transformation, the billionaire who dodged a bullet, or rather, a bucket. Victoria's attempts at redemption fell flat, her apologies ignored, as she navigated a life without the privileges she craved. The family's unity became their greatest asset, unbreakable and shining brighter than any gold. In quiet moments, Alexander thanked